my biggest winner of the night, my biggest moment from the Oscars, and film bros are gonna hate this, and film bros are not gonna like that I'm saying this, but comic book fans won the Oscars. Yes, Across the Spider-Verse lost, which sucks. Guardians lost, which sucks.
Yeah.
But comic book fans had so many moments in these Oscars that we just lost our minds over. Like, this is what Taylor Swift fans feel every time Taylor Swift's on TV. Like, little moments that just drive their entire lives. Like, we really had that in the Oscars last night as comic book fans. There were little ones like Schwarzenegger and DeVito coming out and doing the Batman bit, and Michael
That
Keaton.
was amazing. The
Yeah,
Michael Keaton, when it goes to Michael Keaton and he is in Batman
he plays
mode,
Bruce Wayne.
that was amazing. I'm like, this
Yeah,
is better than The Flash. This is
yeah.
so great.
It really like Schwarzenegger saying Batman, that son of a bitch.
The
Like,
fact that Batman and Robin was mentioned during the Academy Awards, wild.
no jokes either, which is great. Where was Clooney? You know what I mean? That would have been fun.
Oh,
So that was a little one. The Madam Web joke, big hit. Everybody loves it. But like then it gets real. Like we had real comic book movie fan, like you said, grow your heart moments. Robert Downey wins his first Oscar ever. He's presented by Sam Rockwell, who played Justin Hammer in Iron Man 2. Mark Ruffalo was nominated for the same award, Science Bros. Their names were next to each other on the screen. And there are two Christopher Nolan actors to win Best Supporting Actor Academy Award: Robert Downey Jr. and Heath Ledger for the Joker. And who came kind of in second place? Who was the second favorite when Heath Ledger won? Robert Downey Jr. for Tropic Thunder. Like that was the
yeah.
last time he was nominated. Incredible. Full circle. Christopher Nolan, another one of our guys, a comic book movie legend, wins his first Oscar with a cast of people he has used in comic book movies before.
Yeah.
Um, uh, One of them being Cillian Murphy, another one of like we claim him. He's a comic book movie guy from way back 2005, and he
Yeah.
wins his very first Oscar for Oppenheimer, directed by Christopher Nolan. Where did Cillian Murphy break out? Batman Begins. It all comes full circle.
Yes.
Also Oppenheimer's a comic book movie, but we can talk about that later. Um, Emma Stone, comic book icon, wins her second Oscar. And who presented the award? Sally Fields, who played Aunt May in the Emma Stone Spider-Man movies. Perfect.
I
Like
loved this moment. It was
they
so
had
great.
to know what they were doing there. They had to
And if
know.
they didn't, we did, and that's all that matters. It was
Right.
awesome.
Right. And this is my favorite one because everybody knows the famous Matt Damon quote. Not Matt Damon, Leonardo DiCaprio. The famous Leonardo DiCaprio quote to Timothy Chalamet,
Don't do.
which I'm
Yeah.
not I'm not saying this is right or wrong, but Leo says to Timothy Chalamet, who's an up-and-coming actor, don't do comic book movies. It pigeonholes you a little too much. Stay one project at a time. Fine. Sound advice from one of the greatest actors to ever live. But let's take a quick look. Three-fourths of the actor winners last night, supporting and lead actor and actress, three of the four have been in comic book movies, not just once, but like iconic comic book roles.
Hmm.
Downey, Emma Stone, Cillian Murphy. 11 of the 20 best actor nominees across supporting and lead. 11 of the 20, 55% have been in comic book movies before. Take it one step further. They had the five previous present to the five nominees.
Yeah.
16 of the 20 previous winners of those Best Actor awards have been in comic book movies before.
Yeah.
80%. We won. We crushed it last night. We did a great job.
Yeah.
Give Angela Bassett her Oscar. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's true. And it'll be interesting going forward. Like, there was so much nerd and comic book representation at the Oscars. And there were those moments where it's like, if you know, you know. Like, not, it wasn't over the top. You weren't getting reference to Iron Man or Batman or Spider-Man. But if you've been there, if you've seen these movies, and so many of them, like Emma Stone, it was relatively early on in her career and what she has gone on to do since doing Spider-Man. And obviously, Andrew Garfield wasn't there last night because this wasn't his night. It was Emma Stone's night. But what he's gone on to do since doing Spider-Man and living in this post Iron Man world for Robert Downey Jr. and the fact that he actually went out in 2023, was in a Christopher Nolan movie, is barely, I mean, he's in the movie. He's barely in the movie compared to Cillian Murphy, and dominates every second he is on the screen, and easily. I mean, Robert Downey Jr. going into last night was the most solidified lock for a acting award
Mhm.
at the Oscars, and that is just amazing. You saw so many posts on social media for Nolan and for Robert Downey Jr. It's like this Oscar is for Project X, Y, and Z. Like kind of like a makeup, quote unquote, but just basically saying like all this awesome work they've been doing. Here you go. Here's your Academy Award. You deserve it. And through and through, totally deserved. By the way, the one time it was over the top where it wasn't just like if you know you know was of course the Schwarzenegger DeVito moment. That was so well done and so OG, referencing those just original Batman movies. Awesome. Even though Michael Keaton wasn't even the Batman
Right.
for Schwarzenegger, but it was still great.
Yeah, I thought it was amazing. Like, if Across the Spider-Verse would have won Best Animated, which, there's controversy around that. Is that a legacy give? Is that, this, that, the other? But, like, if they would have won, like, I would have been standing on a mountain screaming this. But I still feel like comic book movie fans won last night with all of those little things that were just so intrinsically comic book fan. Like you said, it wasn't hitting you over the head, but, like, it was so heartwarming to see so much of these things. And it was like, Emma Stone, Sally Field. Like nobody would predict that would be such a moment, but wow, what a moment it was. Like it's very cool. And I love comic book movies, and like the fact that over half the actors who were nominated have been in comic book movies before, and 80% of the presenters they picked that had previous award winners, they're all comic book movie actors. Like that is
Right.
such a I think like anytime I see any sort of narrative about like comic book movie actors don't have great careers outside of it, or like the Downey stuff when he got nominated for this, it was like, oh, finally he gets to be in a good movie. And
Mm.
like the Leo quote, anytime I see that moving forward, I'm whipping this stat out because that's pretty awesome. And I would love, I might, nerd out and do it someday. Go back to the previous 5, 10 years of Oscar nominees and see how many of them have done comic book movies, because it seems like it's not so much of a career suicide as some people say it is.
No,
And
definitely not.
it was just very cool to see Downey up there get his moment. He didn't really have the heartwarming speech. I think he gave those at like the BAFTAs or one of the other prelims.
SAG.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah, which I wish he maybe had a little more heartwarming, but you know what he did instead? He's just Tony Stark,
Tony
man.
Stark.
Like he
Yeah.
he just defines that he is Tony Stark and Tony Stark is him. The double piece, come on, dude. Like
It's awesome.
it was such a moment, and he was nothing but raw, uncut Downey. And then Emma Stone as well. Just two legends in the comic book game getting those moments.